Sure, I could list off characters I want and that I believe deserve a spot on that sweet, delicious roster by the time the game drops next year. I could go on and on about how Super Saiyan Rose or Beerus are absolute must-haves as far as the Dragon Ball Super department goes. But we aren't here to talk about what we want, but what we'd much rather avoid before this game drops. So let's get started. So, Dragon Ball games, referring mostly to those of the actual fighting genre, tend to have pretty beefy character lists, so far with Budokai Tenkaichi 3 owning the largest. Their rosters are pretty damn big, and with rosters that big, there tend to be characters you look at and go, why are they even in this game? Who plays as them? Am I right? So, when you think about it that way, why not take a look at the reoccurring characters in previous games that we don't see a point for? The humans. It's characters like these that gave me the idea for this video to begin with. I mean, I'm sure you can't imagine one of your friends sitting there going, yes! Yamcha made it in! And if you do, your friends must really love a challenge playing as Yamcha against these beasts. I just know that personally, the only reason I'd play as any of these characters would be as a joke. Krillin and Yamcha just wouldn't fit into this style of game. Tien is a huge maybe, but I'm still leaning towards a no. Cybermen. Do I even need an explanation for this one? In every game, their health is trash, and they don't have moves that can stand up to anyone. In most of the games, these are fodder characters for the story mode, mostly before you fight Nappa or Vegeta during the Saiyan Saga. They serve no purpose outside the story mode of the earlier games, and I can promise no one would miss them as playable characters. The Ginyu Force. Now, unlike Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm games, when we fight the enemies in story modes, they normally become playable characters. These characters are strictly for the warm-up fights before Frieza. Now, I wouldn't be too upset with Butter or Juice, maybe even Raccoon, but with one member, especially if it's not Ginyu, have to come the other four, and that's unnecessary, strictly because of Guldo, cause it'd be pretty damn awkward with just one and not the others, right? So, if it takes one to have the rest, then I don't want any of them. Cell Juniors. While they may be fast, and better than Cybermen at the very least, they too are only fodder story mode characters for the Cell Saga. Not much else to say here, but irrelevant. Frieza Henchmen. Look! More fodder! Still better than Cybermen, still a waste of programming. Don't do it. The Youngest Gohan. Now, normally I'm all for the different iterations of Gohan. There's quite a few and they differ quite a bit, especially Future and Ultimate Gohan. So if we do end up getting more Gohans for the upcoming game, personally, I'd just be happier if they simply left out the youngest one. He's by far the most useless. Obviously, he wouldn't be able to keep up with the rest of the current cast, nor has he been able to for the last few games. Sure, it's possible to make that happen, but with Super Saiyan 2 Gohan in the game alone, it makes the youngest one just kind of pointless. The kids, Goten and Trunks. Don't get me wrong, these two are normally great, and I've got nothing against them, but I just don't see a purpose of them taking up space on such an aggressive-looking roster. I'd be fine with Gotenks, obviously. I mean, I've certainly played him alone more than I've ever used the other two in previous games. Unless there's fusion allowed on the battlefield, I'd save those spaces for someone more fitting. Like Gotenks! Seriously, this kid has some serious potential and fits pretty nicely on this roster in my opinion. Hercule and Videl. This is mostly for Hercule, because he is easily the most useless character in the history of Dragon Ball Z games. Y'all remember that one mission in Budokai Tenkaichi 1 that you couldn't get past because you had to survive with his frail ass against Cell? That scarred me. Keep this guy out of the game. I don't care if he's a joke character. He's a waste of space. Now, Videl I'm normally okay with. Hell, I'd play as her on rare occasions for the occasional and somewhat fair challenge. But again, much like Goten and Trunks, this is far too aggressive a roster for her to fit on, and I don't see her ending up even on C tier if she did make it in. So, unlike her father, it's not because she's trash, but because she just simply wouldn't fit. Now, when I say we, I'm obviously referring to the people who agree with me, but I know for a fact that there are people who don't agree and feel these characters deserve a spot on all Dragon Ball Z rosters, I'm sure. Are there? If you're out there, comment so I can understand why, please. But, hey, just based on the way this game is being created, I doubt there's a possibility of them even showing up. But who knows? Do you think they deserve a spot, or do you agree that they're unfitting? As I stated moments ago, comment down below for discussion. Tell me why so I can better understand why a pool must be in this game. And as always, please drop a like and hit the subscribe button for more content similar to this here. And I'll see you guys all in the next vid. Take care, guys.